we have some major developments in the LA Lakers' quest to land Dejounte Murray, specifically how available they're making Austin Reaves in a potential trade package. So we're going to dive into all the latest as news has been dropping like crazy surrounding the LA Lakers with the trade deadline coming quickly upon us. So lots of stuff to dive into, but before we do, folks, again, over 90% of our viewers are not subscribed to the channel, and we want to deliver you all of the latest LA Lakers news. So it would mean the world to us if you guys could hit that subscribe button so we can keep you up to date on all things LA Lakers. But let's dive into the latest on this Dejounte Murray sort of trade talks, as he's one of the big players and one of the guys I think LA Lakers fans are most intrigued by the available players that are out there on the market. Obviously, LaVine has been linked to LA, DeMar DeRozan's been there. Some people have been asking about Pascal Siakam, but there's been no real reports sort of linking the Raptors and the LA Lakers in potential trade talks. But Dejounte Murray is a guy that has been linked in a multitude of reports. Woj has even come out yesterday with a little bomb revealing the Atlanta Hawks are really trying to trade him away, given the fact that they performed poorly in the Eastern Conference, and they know they can get some value back and build around with a player that makes more sense to place alongside a Trae Young. But the LA Lakers fans, knowing his two-way capabilities, what he's able to provide, think he could be a really good fit. So the stars are sort of aligning. All the reports seem to indicate the Lakers and Hawks have been in discussion. So why wouldn't a trade happen? What could really be going wrong in a potential deal? Well, some news has dropped today that basically dives some insights in terms of the LA Lakers front office, Rob Pelinka's sort of approach to a potential Dejounte Murray trade. It's basically news has come out from the Dan Wilkie Sports that the Lakers are reportedly unsure if trading Austin Reaves for Dejounte Murray would move the needle. The Lakers, though, have shown no interest in trading Reaves despite some defensive regression this season, and even if they did flip him for Murray, there's a real skepticism that they would really move the needle. So basically what this has come out to say, and another report basically from Hoops Hype is also discussing some Jake Fisher sort of discussions, that the LA Lakers are telling teams around the league that they do not intend to trade Austin Reaves. Sources add that the Lakers could possibly trade for Dejounte Murray should they include Reaves in a deal, and then also discussions on D'Angelo Russell, which we'll dive into later. But basically the LA Lakers don't have interest in dealing Austin Reaves, frankly because they believe if they trade away Austin Reaves for Dejounte Murray, it's not going to make that big of a splash that really will turn around the season. And while I probably agree that just an Austin Reaves for Dejounte Murray trade wouldn't be absolutely game-changing, wouldn't immediately put the Lakers back at the top of the Western Conference in terms of odds and favorites and all those types of things, I do think it is an upgrade. You're not really trading, even though Austin Reaves, again, is an extremely young player, not extremely young, but 25 years old, is still not in the prime of his career, is approaching that sort of time in his career where he's about to enter his sort of peak of his powers. Dejounte Murray is not an old guy in comparison by any means. I mean, if you look at Dejounte Murray by comparison, 27 years old, it's only 2 years really older than an Austin Reaves. Potential and prospects and things like that. Some people, I think, overestimate how young and Reaves is compared to Dejounte Murray in these discussions. But again, I don't think it's a needle mover, but I do think Dejounte Murray's an upgrade on a lot of areas out there on the court. But there are some things that you definitely be losing in a potential sort of Reaves for Dejounte Murray. Obviously, other pieces would likely be involved in this trade for one of these swaps. And we can specifically look at it in the shooting aspect, as basically, if you look at the sort of, this is Austin Reaves here, his sort of numbers as of late, and look at those field goal assisted, the percentage of field goals that are assisted, particularly from the 2-point range and 3-point range. And everyone talks about taking the load off LeBron, and Lakers fans watch it and see LeBron James, when the going gets tough, he is still relied upon to really drop the shoulder and not get, they look easy to him, but there's a lot of contact, a lot of sort of energy being expended by, her aging sort of superstar on possessions to really turn things around. And while that's the case, you are losing a lot of creation in Austin Reaves. And looking at the stats, the percentage of field goals that are assisted on, we know Austin Reaves, again, is putting up, 15 points per game, and only 50% of his threes are assisted upon. So that means close to just under half of his 3-point shots that he's creating, are sort of, him making himself open, dribbling the basketball, taking on defenders one-on-one, and then creating those looks on his own. And then in the 2-point range, we know he can hit those middies. We know he can get the basket. He's only assisted on 36% of those shots. So that means, 64% of those buckets that are going down from Austin Reaves, he's creating it. LeBron can sort of take a breath. Anthony Davis doesn't need to be sort of driving in and facilitating there. Austin Reaves, we know he can be a spot-up shooter from previous seasons, but now he's really emerged as a guy that can create his own buckets for the LA Lakers. Now, that's a big loss. That's the real value that I think a lot of people overlook with Reaves. Obviously, on the defensive end, especially this season, he's not bringing in a lot. By no means. He's a bigger wing. In the playoffs, we've seen him not just be horrific on that side of the floor, so there is sort of a precedent there where, Lakers fans should be extremely worried about him being on the court in big game scenarios, but no one's gonna accuse Austin Reaves as being an elite lockdown defender for this LA Lakers team. And then this is where the comparison to Dejounte Murray sort of comes in, because again, he puts up similar to much better numbers, in terms of creation, and Austin Reaves can facilitate for others as well. 5 assists, similar assists per game, even though in previous seasons Murray has put up close to a triple-double specifically for the San Antonio Spurs. We dived into that in my most recent video, breaking down Dejounte Murray, but he can sort of have a little bit more speed, driving to the basket. He can space the floor. Dejounte Murray's gotten a lot more of his shots, in terms of distribution. He still creates a lot of his own. 70% of threes and then 32% of two-pointers that are sort of created on his own right. He can create a lot for himself out there on the basketball court, but he's taken a lot more of those assisted sort of shots, which still, I am of the opinion, if LeBron James is going to have the basketball that much the same way he is, the Lakers should have their offense built a little bit more around sort of schemes and styles that have won LeBron James titles in the past. Heck, even Vogel took advantage of this a lot more for this LA Lakers team. Just having LeBron sort of create and getting those kickouts, those cross-court passes. While they're still definitely there, LeBron creates a lot of buckets and opportunities for his teammates. I think that should be utilized more often. And I guess they want to, rest him and things like that. And, Reeves sort of takes a load off of you. Dejounte Murray gets a lot more of his buckets, specifically playing with Trae Young from those areas, comparison to an Austin Reaves. But Dejounte Murray, other than that, provides a lot more value at the point of attack in terms of the defensive end. He can create a lot of shots, can take the load off of LeBron in sort of different ways. Dejounte Murray is the better player. He's a couple years older. I get why the Lakers want to stay with what they know, keep the guy that they got a couple years younger and stuff like that, because it's not going to be completely game-changing, but, you then flip D'Angelo Russell's contract for someone, maybe a more fortified backup center or whatever sort of lineups you're trying to run with. Get some more shooting on this LA Lakers team that's consistent, that can play both ends of the basketball court. And then you have Dejounte sort of at your point. He's a guy that, by all accounts, again, the Lakers are going to keep Darvin Ham. He's a guy that's going to be getting on the court for Darvin, that can do the things, Reaves and D'Angelo Russell do on the offensive end, but also be a solid enough defender who, again, has been a little bit worse for the Atlanta Hawks as of late, but we've seen it in the past, specifically with the San Antonio Spurs, even coming off a knee injury, play solid on that end of the floor. So I get the love for Austin Reaves. I know the buckets he can make. He shows up in big games, and that's something huge. And we haven't seen, Dejounte Murray have those massive moments where Reaves has sort of proven he's capable in those sort of, bright lights. But Dejounte Murray is an upgrade. I don't think you hold Austin Reaves as untouchable. Would I give Reaves and a bunch of other stuff? Then probably not. But you also have to factor in salary cap and the contracts and things along those lines. So I get it. But I think it's a silly move to completely, shut off discussions or just not be interested in improving your roster just because it's not going to be the only move that puts you over the top. I think that's a wrong approach from Rob Pelinka. But again, we've seen him do some magic ahead of trade deadlines in the past, so we'll see what ends up actually going on. But let me know what you guys think in the comment section down below. The Lakers definitely need a little shakeup in the Western Conference, so I want to hear what you guys have to say. Anyways, I'm signing out. Cheers.